to Tales from Africa with our Auntie Angela.
Come on, kids, it's story time. Once upon a time, in a busy city called Lagos, there was a young man named Chima. He grew up with his mother and they lived in a small but happy home. Chima was used to the loud noise of cars, the tall buildings, and the busy streets. He worked as a teacher in a small school and loved helping children learn. But deep inside, Chima always felt like something was missing. He didn't know why, but he often dreamt of a village surrounded by green hills and flowing rivers, a place he had never been. One sunny morning, a strange old man came to visit Chima at a school. The man wore a long flowing robe and carried a staff made of wood. His eyes were kind but filled with sadness. He looked at Chima and said, "My son, you do not know who you truly are." Chima was confused. "What do you mean, Papa?" he asked. The old man told him that he was not just an ordinary teacher. Chima, the lost prince of Umoma, a faraway kingdom in the Igbo land. The old man explained that Chima's father was a great king, but he died when Chima was a baby, and the enemies of the kingdom forced Chima's mother to flee to the city with him. Chima could not believe what he was hearing. He laughed and said, Papa, this cannot be true. I am just a simple teacher. How can I be a prince?" But the old man was serious. He gave Chima a small carved statue of a lion and said, "This belongs to your family. It was given to every king. You are the rightful heir to the throne." Chima stared at the statue. It felt warm in his hands, as if it was alive. Suddenly, memories of his dreams came back to him, and he felt a strong pull in his heart. Maybe the old man was telling the truth. That night, Chima told his mother what the old man had said. Tears filled her eyes and she nodded. "My son, it is true," she said softly. "I wanted to protect you, so I never told you about your real home. But you are now old enough to know. The people of Umoma need you. They have suffered for many years without a king." Chima's heart raced. He never imagined leaving the city he loved, but he also felt a deep sense of duty. "I must go and see this kingdom," he decided. The next day, Chima packed his things and left the city with the old man. As they traveled, the tall buildings and the busy streets gave way to thick forests, wide rivers, and small huts. Finally, they reached Umoma, a beautiful village surrounded by hills and palm trees. The people came out to see him, their eyes filled with hope. They sang songs and danced, welcoming their lost prince. But Chima felt nervous. How could he lead these people? He didn't know anything about ruling a kingdom. In Umoma, Chima met the village elders. wise men with grey hair and deep voices. They taught him about the customs and traditions of his people. He learned about the yam festival, where the village celebrated the harvest, and the masquerade dance, where spirits of ancestors were honored. Chima was amazed by the rich culture of his people, and he began to feel proud of his roots. But he also saw the struggles of the people, the farms that were dry, the sick who had no medicine, and the children who could not go to school. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Chima sat under a big Iroquois tree. He thought about the life in the city and the new life in the village. I am not a king, he whispered to himself. But then he remembered something his mother used to say. A true leader is one who serves his people. Chima realized that being a king was not about wearing crowns or giving orders. It was about caring for others and doing what was right. He decided he would do his best to help his people. With the support of the elders and the villagers, Chima began to bring change to Umoma. He helped the farmers get better tools, built a small health clinic for the sick, and even opened a school for the children. The people started to trust him, and they saw him as more than just a city man. He was their prince, their leader, and their hope. Chima was no longer afraid. He had found where he truly belonged. After some months, the day of Chima's coronation arrived. The whole village gathered at the village square. The elders placed a crown made of beads on Chima's head, and the people shouted in joy, "Long live our king!" Chima smiled, but this time it was not out of nervousness. It was a smile of confidence and love. He had found his purpose and knew that his father's spirit was proud of him. As night fell, the villagers lit fires and danced around them. Chima joined them, feeling the beat of the drums in his heart. The stars above shone brightly as if blessing the new king. Chima looked around at his people, his family, and knew that he was home. He was no longer lost. He was the prince who found his way back to where he was always meant to be. And so, the kingdom of Umoma, which had been broken for many years, was made whole again by the return of the lost prince. Chima knew there would be challenges ahead, but he was ready to face them, for he now understood that true strength comes from the love and unity of his people. The story of Chima, the lost prince, will be told for generations, reminding everyone that no matter where life takes you, your roots will always call you back home. And that's the end of our story. 5 lessons from the story. 1. Understanding your true self. Chima learns that he is not just an ordinary teacher, but the rightful prince of Umoma. This teaches us that we may have hidden strengths and rules we are not aware of, and it's important to understand and embrace our true selves. 2. Courage to embrace change. Moving from the busy city to a remote village was a big change for Chima. It teaches us that facing new and unfamiliar situations with courage can lead to discovering new purposes and opportunities. 3. The importance of serving others. Chima learns that being a leader means serving and caring for others. His journey shows that leadership is not about power, but about helping and supporting those around you. 4. Value of traditions and culture. As Chima learns about Umoma's customs, he understands the importance of traditions and culture. This teaches us to appreciate and respect the customs and values of different communities, which helps us connect with our heritage. And finally, finding your true home. Chima's story illustrates that no matter where life takes you, finding a place where you truly belong is important. It reminds us that sometimes our hearts guide us to our true home, where we can be our best selves. And that's it on Tales from Africa with me, Ijele. I'll see you again soon.